They've known all along we had a quarterback deficit in that room, Matt DeBerry, with 3 guys on scholarship going in next year. They know we're always looking to upgrade and get good players, and he's one of them. He's come in and wants to develop it, and to develop, easy enough for me to say, and he's committed to that. He's a high level guy. He's been great in practice so far. Fun to watch. That's Kirby Smart talking about his most recent addition to the quarterback room, Ryan Puglisi. You've loved him for a long time. Um, Tell me why and what you've been saying that folks have, if they're just now watching, what you've had to say in the last, I don't know, year almost about him.
Yeah, the first time I heard about Ryan Puglisi, I was told by a source up where he plays, hey, Todd Monken came up here and watched him in January throw this ball in the windy cold up in Connecticut and loves him. And when I heard that Todd Monken loved this kid and brought him back to Athens in June and offered him a scholarship like I told Dawg Post readers was going to happen, that's when I said, okay, if Todd Monken is high on this kid, and I think he may have just been like a 3-star at the time. No one really knew a whole lot about him. That's when I said, okay, I'm going to dig into this kid more and more. And everything I've heard, this guy not only has a great arm, but he's a former baseball player, throws in the 90s. The arm talent's there, but he can run. He's a mobile kid who can make plays with his feet, but he's driven. He's competitive. He understands his role. He can play the quarterback position, something we talk about all the time. He's not out there just slinging it 75 yards. He can throw it deep and challenge defenses vertically, but he makes the smart decision, and he can take off for a big 3rd and 8 and pick up 9 yards. He's got that type of talent. But I was told when he came down and earned his Georgia offer, throwing in front of the staff, Todd Monken, Kirby Smart, I think Buster Faulkner was in Athens at the time. He's now at Georgia Tech. They all said, yep, surefire. Everyone's on board with an offer. And he quickly rose up Georgia's board. And, of course, Todd Monken left. But Mike Bobo said, hey, we got to keep this kid around. The ball just flies out of his hand. There's some zip on it. I mean, he's got a laser, and he's accurate. I think that's the number one trait you need to have in a quarterback is accurate. You got to know where the ball's going, and he can do that. Now, the stats aren't great, mainly because they only play like 8 or 9 games up there, but they're tough, kind of gritty games. They run the football, and he doesn't have a whole lot of great wide receivers to work with. But if you just watch the film, he's slinging it. And the ball looks great coming out of his hands. He won the Georgia staff over. And I feel like I have to say this again, Dean, but we've got exclusive highlights and clips of Ryan Puglisi that nobody else has, only on this channel, where you go find some clips of him that you're not going to see anywhere else.
I will put those clips at the end of this video.
Oh, you've got them? Okay, cool.
Okay. Yes, you've got them. You've put them up already, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
That they're on YouTube. There's some.
That's right. Okay. This is the most important sentence, Matt. This is Kirby Smart talking about Ryan Puglisi. He says he's come in and wants to develop. He's committed to that. A high level guy. He's committed to developing. Okay. So Stetson Bennett in 17, raw, not great. 2020 Stetson, same story. Made more plays. All this stuff. 2021 at the end of the year Stetson, 2022 the whole year Stetson, that's development. You want to talk about Carson Beck? We didn't see Carson Beck in 2020. We saw him take a snap against Missouri. I saw it live with my eyes. I was there about frozen half to death in Middle Earth out there in Missouri. But you got to develop these guys, particularly quarterbacks. If you don't know where you're going with the football, it doesn't matter how fast and hard you can throw the ball. Oh, he can throw it through. What was David Pollock's line about Dwan Mathis? It was he can throw the ball through the car wash and it not get wet. Yeah, but the ball was going through the wrong car wash tunnel. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter how good you are at throwing the ball. You have to think and play. People at Georgia have always been very happy and optimistic, I should say, about Carson Beck. Why? Well, they watched him, but they did know he had to grow up. I don't know, Ryan Puglisi, I don't know. It seems like he does not have to grow up as much as Carson Beck had to grow up, okay? And perhaps not as much as Stetson Bennett. If you know coming into this thing, he wants to develop and he's committed to that. He didn't care if Dylan Raiola was going to Georgia, man. He just didn't care.
No, this kid loved Georgia every time he took a visit, and he knows the talent that's going to be around him. He sees these monsters that are going to be blocking for him. He sees that Georgia wants to bring in 3 running backs to help him out. And with a consistent run game, it's only going to make things easier for guys like Carson Beck and Ryan Puglisi. But you don't have to be able to throw the ball 75 yards down the field to be successful at Georgia. You have to be accurate. You have to have a good arm, but you have to play the position and not turn the ball over and get it to your weapons. There's a lot that you have to do. You don't necessarily have to have this crazy NFL talent arm. It's a little nicer and easier that way, but it's not a necessity at a place like Georgia. And he knows that it's easy to win and it's easy to get the balls to other really good players around you. He knows he doesn't have to carry the offense on his back. He just has to do his job, and he's a very confident young man, and he knows under Mike Bobo now that he is going to get developed at Georgia.
So you've got 3 guys who, Carson Beck has proven himself in college. I don't think I need to explain all that, but he did win a state championship in the highest classification in Florida at a school that has just never wanted anything at all. And you have Gunnar Stockton. Now, Rabin was better than – Rabin over time has gotten better, but Gunnar's the best quarterback they've had. They've had a lot of playmakers up there. All you had to do was go watch Gunnar play. My issue with Gunnar was, is he tall enough? Is he, he grew – just like Brock Vandagriff did. The more I saw Gunnar, the more I liked Gunnar. But when you were comparing him, naturally, when those of us were comparing him to Brock Vandagriff, no, he doesn't have the physical tools as him. But he's not as raw as Brock Vandagriff. Gunnar Stockton knows how to play quarterback. I can tell you that right now. I don't know if I don't think he's lacking physical tools, but he does not have all of the...
He's 3.
He's not. I'm just a height hater. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's.
Well, you look down on everyone.
Someone from Georgia corrected me. I'm sorry, Matt. I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said you're 6'7", so everyone.
Well, I don't know about that part. But I said to somebody once, I was like, and they said, you don't like Gunnar? Like, I was like, no, I didn't. But like, it was like really like not defensive, but like, hey. By me asking this question, I am indicating to you that you are wrong. But all you had to do is watch the kid play. With Puglisi, it's the same thing. Now we didn't just go. It was harder for us to go up to Connecticut to watch him play on a Saturday. But all you have to do is watch the film, and this exclusive film we're going to show at the end of this thing. You got to play the position. And talking with Mark Richt ever since he retired. It was a really good. I got a chance to talk to him before the 21 season about stuff, and I said, "What are you looking about more than anything? What are you looking for in a quarterback?" And I didn't think he would answer it anyway, but he said, "Are they accurate?" I mean, if they're not accurate, and this is me saying it now, if they're not accurate, he said, as I recall, Mark saying, it's hard to teach that. It's hard to teach accuracy. If the ball is where it's supposed to be, and I think Raiola was good at that. But I think the difference between these two right now, I'm not sitting here, I'm not going to take a poop all over Dylan Raiola. That guy is very gifted. What concerned me about Raiola was spotlighted every single time I watched Buford play, which was he's not a great mover. He can move in the pocket, but he's not buying you 5 yards. He's not picking up a 3rd and 7 with his feet. That's not happening. It's a little different with Puglisi.
Yeah, I mean, Raiola needs an offensive line.
Completely.
Where Puglisi
he did not have one at Buford.
Oh, he did not. It was garbage. That no offense to any of the Buford offensive linemen and their family watching this, but I think
offended. I mean, they shouldn't be offended. They saw it.
It was true. They were bad. Puglisi can work around that. He can make a couple guys miss in the pocket, then take off.
Right.
Whereas Dylan, he's looking to run, and he would go backwards. And then lose more yards. So you have to have that natural feel in the pocket, and I think Ryan Puglisi definitely has that part in his game.
Yeah, and I think, again, and you don't want to do any of it. He's committed through the process. They've known all along that we have a quarterback deficit in the room with 3 guys on scholarship going into next year. They know we're always looking to upgrade and get good players. I mean, Kirby's saying, hey, man, it's great that you're here. You're going to have to develop and compete. Well, yeah, I mean, that can't be surprising for anybody coming into this SEC world.
Yeah. It's what you want to hear out of a kid. You want a guy who's coming in and hungry, ready to learn, ready to compete, ready to go out on the field and try to get better every day on any part of your game. And that's where his mindset's at. He loves this program. He loves, the campus, the school. He's all in. And, in his mind, he said, I just want to get better. Every single day, I want to get better. I want to help this team. And it's only going to help him get better and grow as a quarterback.
There's two things that happened for Puglisi over the last couple of 10 days. One was Raiola leaving. He's the only quarterback coming in that we know of, at least, in this class. Two, Carson Beck stuck around. And my last bit of information here before I direct you to this next video, which is going to be popping up in a second, of exclusive highlights we've got at Puglisi, is that he and Beck really did hit it off when he visited. So I think that Beck stuck around. When Kirby talks about he wants to come in and develop, that's what he's talking about. Make sure you're checking up these videos. Let's just see what happens with Georgia's most recent quarterback.